Alrighty, guys, we have the ladies of 50 States of Madness back at it again because you guys are always asking us to collab and collab and collab. We've obviously wanted to do a collab with ATS News, but unfortunately she could not make it today. So hopefully in the future we will be able to again, or actually take part in it. I wanted to reach out to these ladies today because obviously we've been talking about some type of dark aura or something that's been going on through the people that do the cases and so forth. I had some information from a psychic that had reached out to me. I wanted to get their partake on it as well. So we are going to do that. So if you have not subscribed to these ladies already, please do so by hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment on their videos, help them out as well because they cover a vast majority of crime and content as well. So just go give them links will be down in the description. But with these ladies here today, if you guys don't know who they are, this is Shannon and Gina from 50 States of Madness. But to start off the bat, I had asked this, or this woman came to me. She did not want to be, or she's not a content creator. She doesn't mind her name Russia to be stated. She wanted to ask because she is a psychic that if she could do a reading with me. Like I give her questions and she does a reading, which I did ask. The 3 questions that I did ask that weren't at the live video, and these ladies don't know yet because I wanted to get their live reaction about it. The first question was she, when I say she, it's NK, at the house the morning of the murders? The second one was, did she want the family dead, the Watts family dead, as in the 4 of them, not including Chris? And third, was she involved in some shape or form, physical, mentally? Did she contribute in some shape or form? So this woman had done her reading. Again, this is all speculation. This is all educational, entertainment purposes. So I'm not forcing anything on Gina, and Shannon are not forcing their beliefs, my beliefs, whatever have you. We're just taking it with a grain of sand and looking at all possibilities and so forth. So this is what she had mentioned to me. She wrote me this morning. She said NK did not want the family dead. She wanted the family to be out of the picture. She wanted to be Chris's main squeeze.
Okay.
Although she wanted Shanann to abort the child and Chris had with Shanann so that she could have the baby,
A boy.
the boy herself. Chris was the one that planned the murders. Chris and NK was instructed by Chris, which she did to follow to help. She was present the morning of the murder. She was the one who attempted to unalive the girls the first time in the home. But she was not successful. But she was not the one that murdered them out at Survey 319. Chris did it then. She never went to Survey 319. She remained at the Watts house to clean it up, which the sensors did go off that morning because Chris's phone got the notifications, and that's where the router was unplugged because it kept going off.
We had talked about that. Yes.
So that is true. But therefore, Chris was still not alone at Survey 319. He had a third person who was helping him, which is believed to be Jim. That's why the hole was dug so fast. Was there was 2 males present doing that deed. The third person wasn't at the house, but did meet Chris at the site. He helped dig the holes and bury Shanann. NK and Chris Watts really thought that we're going to get away with it, but NK, I feel, NA, Nicole Atkinson, is the one that foiled it, and when she went over there and said, I can't find my friend, that's who foiled the whole plan.
Yes.
So which I think.
Do we think that she was there in the house?
That's what I do believe, because the sensors kept going off even when NA was there. She says something kept moving in the house.
Okay.
It looks like that she was in a relationship, which is currently ending due to new personal information, which I had talked with you girls that she is in a relationship.
Yes.
Ending to a, or she's the relationship is ending because she's the one that's cheating. NK
Currently?
is cheating currently. NK is the one that's cheating, and apparently the whole uh shebang went down because of NK. What hits me, which is the psychic, is that something bad is about to happen. This is the third psychic that is saying that something's coming.
Yeah, I
For that,
remember you saying that, like that something is bad's about to happen. To who though? To
yeah.
NK? To
NK is causing her own demise, and the karma is coming back. Something that also can be involved, or something that also involves a death. I think it's her ex-partner, but at this time it's a secret. We don't know what's coming to light, but we know that she will be prosecuted at some time. Family won't be able to help her. Something is boiling, Zowoki, and it's coming.
I wonder too, because they always say like a lot of the law enforcement stuff happens in the background that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Things, people do look into stuff, they do look into things, but they don't want to put all their cards on the table. So maybe, I mean,
But
Yeah,
that
do we
psychic
think
that
this is
came, sorry for interrupting, Gina. The
no,
psychic that came to them before, because there was a psychic. I don't know if you saw that yellow paper that I posted, but it's been posted on other platforms. This psychic came for before, like this all confessed and everything, said that the girls were suffocated. Shanann was strangled. There was a wood area, but again, it's Colorado.
yeah,
There it was just sand. So I mean, there was things that she did know but there was things that she didn't know. But she hit like 80% of the stuff. Chris was unhappy. Shanann was working too much in Thrive. Like all this stuff was in there. So obviously, there's people that see things or are sensitive that could possibly have these abilities. But again, they're stating this before the fact happened.
yeah,
And then now these two ladies, Resha and then Sajay, are saying that I'm having something with me. I took this case on in September. It's now what, March? I've had nothing but illnesses, bronchitis, food poisoning twice. I have had a broken rib. Some of these other channels that they're having problems. You guys have had illnesses. Um,
I just, my, I'm just saying like we always say, like there's no such thing as coincidences or anything, but there's just so many of these stories that are corroborating together. Like
it's creepy.
yeah, it's like people who don't even talk to each other.
yeah.
No,
I've never seen Russia before. She's not looking for money. She's not
yeah,
looking for, I mean, so, and then Sajay, she's the one that's feeling these things and seeing these things. She's not looking for money. She's not Zowoki. Hey, I got this information. Give me $20. I'll tell you. So,
yeah,
I mean, what do they have to gain to that? I mean, yeah, I'm publicizing them, but this one, Russia, she's not a content creator.
yeah.
She just wants to help out and say, hey, this is what's going on.
Well, and
Even-
that's kind
oh,
of
go ahead.
how that thing works too. Like, when you ask somebody who, and I feel like there are, people who are just very, they're able to do this kind of stuff. They're very open to it. And then some people are just very closed off. Some people are very sensitive to this stuff. Some people aren't. I feel like the people that do this and that are very sensitive and that they do this to help people, they don't charge people money for it. The people that are out there charging people for money, that's how they make their living.
And they're
But the
kind of the ones
people
that are
that,
ruining it, I think.
right, and the people, exactly. And I think, in this day and age too, we have so many things on TV. We have so many things on the internet in general that kind of fantasize all of this stuff, and they just kind of make a joke about it. And it really ruins it for the people who really, really do this for the love of it and who actually have this gift, which I think is a gift. And they kind of ruin it, Um, and I feel like it doesn't put them in a good light, which makes it hard to, like, when somebody reaches out to you, it makes it hard to believe them. Like, you know, are they just doing this to be noticed? But like you said, you know, they don't have a channel, they don't have anything, so they're not getting anything out of this. They're not
Mhm.
getting any recognition. They're not, you know, they're getting none of this. But I do think that just the way that things are put out there on television and YouTube and everywhere, TikTok, I feel like everybody says there's a psychic, everybody has a special power, everybody's an armchair detective, everybody's got the answer. And it sucks because, you know, it really does ruin it for the people who really do have this gift.
Mhm.
And it makes it hard to know who to believe and who not to believe.
But
But that's the thing that scares me too is like I've told nobody about my stuff. Like I've kept it because I didn't want people to think I was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Zowoki's seeing stuff. But I'm literally seeing some, I wouldn't say entity, but I'm seeing a mist. It's in my dream, but I'm dreaming something else. But I like look over and I'm like, the frick is that? Or like
yeah,
I'm seeing shadow people in my house. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, Zowoki's crazy. That's not like he's gonna go to the bat house or whatever have you. But I'm just, and then Sajay stating that I was in trouble or I have an attachment. I mean, look at the other people like Sam and Kobe and Twin Paranormal. They go ghost hunting and they have an attachment. I mean, they're not going to be necessarily like thrown in the loony bin, but again, I've told nobody about this. How are
Yeah.
these people coming out and just stating, "Hey, I feel this. What's going on?" How
Does
do you
this
know
person,
this?
do the people that are reaching out to you, have they made the connection? Because, you know, remember we said from the beginning that NK was very involved in witchcraft and black magic and all of this stuff.
Which my spirit
Have they,
box said basement.
yeah, have they said that there's like a connection to this,
Yes,
like
she did
because
yesterday.
of what she practices or
She said
whatever?
whatever they conjured in that basement is traveling between everybody.
I was gonna say, because even before you even thought that this was even connected to NK, you had mentioned to us like, so I just want to say, put it out there for everybody to know, like you had kind of mentioned to us like, oh, hey, yeah, I see kids in my house, you know, up on the top of the stairs and
I had pictures.
you have pictures, yeah, and you
Yeah.
were kind of just mentioning it, not saying, "Oh, it's connected. Oh, it's connected to what," but you had been
Yeah.
mentioning for them to know that these things are happening without even knowing you and you not putting it out there.
And
That's
the title was that this dark presence is going between YouTubers. It's not just me. Like there are
yeah,
other YouTubers, you girls, like we've stated before, you guys don't cover it as much as myself
No.
or ATS News. You guys have dipped your toes into the sand, but
yeah,
yet
Yeah.
all you guys did was get sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I mean, if you could continued in, maybe it might be something. Maybe it's just a fluke. I don't know, but the things that she's stating here too, it's on point. Like it makes sense. It's like the alarms were going off at the house when Chris was gone. The hole was dug, and it would probably been better if there was two guys out there. I mean,
Right.
we did mention that with the boots and the shoes and the footprints, and they were like men's size, and yeah, and we
Mhm.
even said, like, how did they dig it so fast if it wasn't
Yeah.
planned that they were going up
she
there?
says leave Jim alone, and there's things that he's going to take to his grave, and it's just you think you finally know what's going on in this case, and then things change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a person's opinion that they are saying, but something is telling her this that she feels this. It could be again an opinion, a theory, but something is happening because this is the third psychic, third medium that has been on it and is stating something's going on with Nicole, and we're going to eventually see it. But like I told some other people on the live, it's not going to be like next week and the next day. We're talking probably months, maybe if not years.
yeah.
Right.
And I did ask you prior to, do you think that it's, and just so everybody else can hear your answer, do you think that that's it's contributing, that darkness, that presence is contributing to some of the mood in as far as what you're feeling, being depressed, having, and also is it contributing to just having mean, evil people attracted to writing mean, evil comments? You know what I'm saying? Like when you start inviting that type of stuff into your life and into your home, and not necessarily inviting, but they come in through back doors. Like we always say, like there's always lots of ways that these entities can come reach out to you. And you got a Ouija board, you got, anything like us going into a haunted house. We always do something when we leave because we don't want something
You
attached
never
to.
know.
Yeah, you never know what's going to come out with you. And so do you think that that's what's bringing on the negativity, the attacks towards you, the unfair, I guess, judgment and unfair accusations, maybe I should say, towards
I mean,
you?
it's a possibility because out of nowhere, I was doing the case,
We're doing
doing
good.
just fine. And then just out of nowhere, drama just strikes. Like like I
Yeah.
was getting in the midst of things and things were peaking and they're just out of nowhere, boom, negativity, nastiness,
Yeah.
bringing stuff up that, well, one made
You were
no
going to shut your
sense.
channel down.
I was
Like,
going to shut my channel down. I was super depressed. I was on my vacation with my fiance and I just felt so down about it. I mean, that could be contributing it, but this thing that apparently that she said is feeding, it's draining my energy. I feel weak. I feel like all this. And then I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I take stuff for anxiety from the military, but I mean, I've had things before and there's days that I can be the most peppy person, but the last 2 to 3 months have been just a nightmare and depression.
Yeah.
And it's just like she's kind of hitting the ball on here. And then everybody's like, well, do what you think, but I don't want to give up. That's the thing is
Yeah.
I feel like I'm onto something. There's a couple lawyers that are in it, doing the deceptive detective and the tilted lawyer. I don't know if you guys have watched those videos, and they're on it. Like he's doing a trial mock-up if Nicole was actually arrested, and it
oh,
went to
yes.
trial. It went to trial, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna be watching that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he wants me to collab with him as a closing argument, and it's like Nicole has to be watching this. She sits in front of a computer for her job.
Yes.
YouTube is a highly, everybody's on YouTube almost. My parents aren't. My grandparents aren't. I mean, everybody's on YouTube for something. You cannot tell me
Right.
she hasn't seen either myself or these other people. Like we spoke before about it, how many different times that if
Yeah.
somebody's talking about me, I want to know.
Well, people,
Right.
and how do you not Google yourself? I mean, it's just a natural curiosity, like, especially if you were that much of a public figure, like a public,
Yeah.
not necessarily like in a positive
No,
way.
she's infamous.
Infamous. Thank you.
Mhm.
And how are you not at least, Googling your name once in a while or seeing
She
what's out
has to.
She has
Yeah,
a Wikipedia about herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natural curiosity. Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny if she's editing it. I was not born there. I was born here.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, and then telling people that I've seen her and stuff like that. But again, I've said that and I reiterate this on every video, so I can't be held for like a witch hunt because I don't want a witch hunt on Nicole.
Yeah.
No,
I just want
nobody
her.
does.
We don't
Yeah.
want her to be harmed or whatever. I mean, she did destroy a family, but again, we want her to be brought in front of the criminal justice system to be actually interviewed properly. Because, like, I watched the deceptive detective and the other guy, like, her questions were so dodged. They were feeding her the questions, but then you look at Tammy when they were on Chris, like, they were drilling him. And it's like, why does he get all this and then she doesn't?
Yes.
And then she had to have been at least an accessory to murder because she, or a conspiracy
And
to
her dad's
murder.
allowed.
Or after the fact. I mean,
Yeah, and for after the fact, and that at least is 10 to 20 years.
yeah. We talked about it. The deleting the information from her phone and stuff, that's obstruction of justice at the very minimum. Obstruction
That's
of
2 to 5 years.
Yeah, very minimum. So why wasn't she even held accountable for that? It's not like you have, you know, you got information from her and you said, oh, well, if we get this information from you, we're going to,
Yeah.
keep you out from being press charges against you. What is that called? Where they tell you, like, make a deal with them, but she didn't give them any information. In fact, she deleted all the information that could have been helpful.
She tried to destroy her SIM card, and she
Her
factory
whole SIM
reset her
card.
phone.
And so just because he confessed, we're going to ignore the fact that she did all that? It doesn't make sense.
But I think it really comes down to it is the DA.
Yeah.
The DA wanted to close it, make it look done, over with, and fast, that he was the guy to be on every single case, and that he would be the knight in shining armor and get things done. But then, yeah, you got your main man, but there's a secondary passenger.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're not going to look at it. Could he have been paid off? He makes jokes about getting 80 grand, making jokes about it. I mean, could that be a truth in the lie? I mean,
I did listen to that podcast. That's one that he did with his wife.
yeah. Why would the wife go after certain channels like Behind Criminal Minds? He made a beautiful video. She went after him.
Yeah.
And he fought. He was a lawyer in himself. He fought for that video to be exploited because it should be.
Yes.
Because David Rourke was explaining, well, I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about that man. I'm talking about the triple homicide. Well, first of all, it's not a triple homicide. It's a quadruple homicide. Just because the child's not born does not mean that child's not important.
Yeah.
Nope.
And again, I'm not going to get into the whole, it's a woman's body, her choice. The child was 15 weeks pregnant. It had a heartbeat. It had a conscience. That child was important in a soul.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, if anything, they had named it, they were going to have it. That child was going to be born.
Yes.
Because of other circumstances is the reason why it wasn't. So regardless of what people view when a baby is a baby and when they're not a baby, that doesn't matter. As soon as somebody says, I'm having this baby, that baby should be acknowledged as a child.
Because some people were going on the channel. They're like, well, the baby shouldn't be considered a murder because the baby wasn't born yet. That doesn't matter.
But let's just back up. There still was Shanann and Bella and Cece.
Yep.
It doesn't make it any better or worse.
It doesn't. They're trying to find every little loophole to make Chris Watts' murders okay.
About that for at this point, you know what I mean? Like,
they're bashing Shanann. They're bashing the kids. And that's what's negativity about it, is this negative presence. It's not just coming after us. It's helping enforce these other ones that are coming after the people that want justice, and they're making up some random BS that has no correlation.
Yeah. I was watching a YouTube channel the other day too, and a very popular true crime channel that I go to a lot of the times for some information to watch. But she was also talking about, like, beginning of her channel, about the hate and the negativity and people coming after and attacking like the victims, and talking crap about the murder victims and how somehow it's their fault. And she's saying, just kind of keep that off my channel. So it kind of made me think, like, you know what? It's not just our channel. Like, I think we all just putting ourselves out there on YouTube, we open ourselves up to these people who just sit behind the computer keys and are brave behind the computer. They're people that would probably never come up to us in person and say what they say.
Never.
And so, 9 times out of 10, you do have the few crazies, and she's really huge and really popular and, millions of subscribers. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, everybody gets it. And you have to put that out there and just don't be negative on our channel and just kind of, but you're
they're still going to do it.
Come through.
I think that's just what gets people going, that's just what people enjoy doing, and they feel protected because, I could put my name's Joe and nobody knows who I am, okay, Joe from Alaska, nobody knows. and it's very easy to sit back and just spout out a bunch of stuff about people when nobody can see you, nobody knows what you look like, nobody nothing. They get very, very brave, you know,
They
and
sit behind there thinking, oh, I'm just gonna be nasty. They'll never see me. Like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But how
and I
miserable
feel
of
too.
a yeah, how many miserable life do you have that's your entertainment and that's your joy, you know?
But I do feel too that like, you know, we've had so many good comments. Like
Oh,
we've been so lucky, and so many people have commented like, you know, I've been looking forward to watching your video all day, and I can't wait to get home and I just relax. And one lady just commented, because we were talking about doing puzzles, and she's like, oh my God, I'm sitting here listening to your podcast doing a puzzle. And I feel like, you know, when you have regular people that watch you or listen to you on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, whatever, they start to feel like a connection to you. And
Mm-hmm.
know, they feel, you know, like they can reach out to you. And so I feel like there's this sense of comfort too, where they feel like, okay, cool, like I could say nice things, but I can pop off when I want to too. And maybe this is going to get me noticed. Maybe he's not going to notice my nice comment, but if I say something
Mm-hmm.
real shitty, guess what? He's going to respond to me. And that's what they want. And you know, it sucks. It really sucks that that's how the world operates now. It really, really does,
Yeah.
that people need that negative attention. Um, and yeah, we've gotten it, but you know, like I said, we just comment, thanks for watching, you know, we're not for everybody, and that's okay.
yeah. But I'm thinking like maybe that's what brings like that darkness, the presence. We kind of open ourselves up to it. And regardless of kind of the topics we're talking about, um, even with your channel, we're not covering comedians. We're not covering funny. Like you're covering, you know, scary, horror, ghost sightings, along with true crime. You
Well, the
know,
people that get me are the
so
people that say, why do you keep carrying on with this case? Why do you keep talking about this case? Well, fool, you're here watching it.
Yeah. You don't have to watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Exactly. So not only did you take the time to comment, but you're watching the video. Did you search it? Did you, you know, if that's in your algorithm, it popped up for a reason. So like if you're going to sit there and make comments like that, like why do you keep, you know, dragging this out, or why do you say this and why do you say that? Like why are you watching then?
It's
Just
like
don't watch
me.
it.
It's like me saying I watched the Twilight movies. I hated them. I'm gonna go to the director and say you are a complete idiot. Your stories are
Exactly.
stupid. They're grotesque and out. You should off yourself. Like that's what it is almost entailing. Is
Yeah.
like they watched it. They didn't like it. Let me put my 2 cents in there. Like you can have a thumbs down, but be just or instructive about it. Like I didn't like it, but I think that you're going somewhere with like they could have been more
Yeah.
criticized about
I
it
like this
rather than
format better.
nasty.
I don't like when you do this. I like when you do this better. Don't be
That's
mean
fine.
about it. There's a way
Exactly.
to give constructive criticism, you know, without being so mean and so harsh and like, you know, there don't need to be name calling. There doesn't need to be any of that.
And then
yeah,
why did they go off on the what or the like the Rusex?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're pulling at they sit there and say that we're pulling at straws when we're just going after Nicole, a possible an accessory to murder. We're not saying, oh, Shanann is a bad mother. Shanann, the Rusex are lying because we caught them on this, or like, what are you gaining from doing that?
Yeah.
You don't attack the victim or the victim's families. And that's just something that we stay away from too. And you don't do the blame game, you know. We all know common sense. Let's say you don't walk at 3 a.m. in the morning to go get a Slurpee at 7-Eleven, but just because somebody does not mean that they deserve to get picked up and murdered. That's not
Yeah.
even a case, guys. I'm just saying it like up in the
But
open.
Yeah.
they're trying to justify any little thing for that murder. It's like you
Some
can't justify murder.
You can.
Mhm.
That's my thing. Like, there's no justification for for the horrible, horrible things that are out there and the horrible, horrible things that we talk about and report on. And you can't give them an excuse. You can't help them with their excuses.
And it's a lot. Like, you know, Shannon and I say all the time, like, sometimes it gets very taxing, you know, to put the, and that's why not only it takes a lot of time, but also like it's hard to like research this stuff, and that's constantly all you're either reading about or listening to or watching. Like, it starts to like take a toll on you mentally too, because it's just, you know, it's
If
a
you
lot.
read
It's
something,
hard.
if you
It's
read
hard
something
to
wrong,
always have that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No,
I think also she's like freezing and going in and out. So every
Yeah,
once in a while.
she's a little bit here and there,
Yeah.
but it's just I'm upset, and it's like you want to find the truth and you know it's right there, and people like you're like 2 steps forward, but then somebody takes you 3 steps back.
And I
And it's
don't
just
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm not even looking like we know that no one's gonna tell us 100% truth of what happened. Like, you know, I'm not expecting NK to come out and go, yeah, this is how it was. I'm writing a book. I'm just gonna lay it all out there. I'm gonna let you guys know everything. We know that's not gonna happen. We know that Chris will probably never go out and tell us 100% of the truth.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, we try to piece together through a storyline. We try to piece it together ourselves. But I don't even think we're seeking the truth as much as we just want her question, just a fair, just bring her in, question her like you would do anybody else in this situation without any protection. We just want it. And I know life's not fair, and I'm going to throw this out there very loosely, but just it to be fair to where you're going to take her in and you're going to question her and get as much of the truth from her as you can. We know people who are involved in this, you're never going to hear the truth. We've seen it multiple times over and over again in all the cases we follow. It's very rare when you get somebody who is guilty to say, you know, this is what it is. I'm going to walk you through it without any type of lying in between, any type of fudging the truth, because even people who murder and say, hey, I'm going to tell you how it happened. Look, I'll take you to where the body is. I'll show you. They're not going to tell you 100% everything they did, because there's some shame in what they do. You know what I mean? Like, you think,
or
like,
they want to tease it.
Yeah, they hang on to it, or it's they can show us where the body was, but maybe they won't tell us 100% of exactly what they did to the body. You know, you're never going to know, and you need the evidence and the things to piece together. That's what the detectives are supposed to do. But
And Nicole
for them
already said that.
Yeah. And for the detectives not even to get all that information to piece together a full case and a full, it kind of like they asked for it. The DA asked for what's happening to him right now. They asked for it because they screwed up.
They didn't finish.
Yeah. I mean, they asked for what they're getting now with all these people wanting to know. If they would have done a very thorough job, because there's cases out there that we don't question. We know the detectives
Because they were done.
They were done correctly. Even if somebody didn't get the time we thought they should have gotten, or whatever the reason, or they got off. Like we got Casey Anthony, who got off, and some people believe she was innocent, some not. She went through the whole trial though, right?
Yeah.
And there's no like, we don't question the prosecution, but in this case, we're questioning the DA, the prosecution, the investigation. That's why there's so many people out there upset about it. Don't get it mixed up where it's like, oh, we're on a witch hunt, like you say, for Nicole. It's not the witch hunt for Nicole. It's the witch hunt for justice to get the information. That's what it is.
That's why it will not die until like they could solve this right now. If the DA was like, you know what, we're gonna do this, we're gonna question, we're gonna shut you guys up. Hey, here's all the stuff. We found it, she's innocent, or we found it, she's guilty.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard? It's budgeting, it's time, effort. It's like, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, it's worth it. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
It's worth it, and it needs to be done. It
Yeah.
really
What is it gonna, why is it so bad to do this? What is it gonna hurt?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
Well, is your wife's hungry?
my wife's hungry, so we're gonna cut it short here, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not as long as I think we've been doing this for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on here and talk with these ladies, but again, my fiance wants food, and of course, I gotta give her food.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say we don't want to upset her anymore.
Oh,
She's gonna come in here. We're gonna be doing a true crime on Zowoki.
Zowoki, because
Exactly.
There we go.
I got murdered for sandwiches and food,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I appreciate you girls coming back on here again. I definitely do enjoy these the debates
Yes.
and the discussions that we have. I wouldn't say it's debate, but it's more of a
Yeah.
discussion. So
No, we love it.
for all those
Anytime.
watching at home, please give these ladies some love on 50
Yeah.
States of Madness. We probably will be talking about, I want to talk about more cases than just this one, because this
Yes.
is all we've done. And we've talked about the Gabby Petito and the Casey Anthony case.
We just
Possibly
did
we might,
we just did Casey Anthony, so maybe we can get together in the next couple days and get your
Okay.
point of view.
Yes.
I would definitely like to. So if you guys want to know more about Casey Anthony and all that goes with that, go watch their stuff. I have like one video on Casey Anthony. So they
Oh,
have a couple, but we could definitely meet up and talk about Casey Anthony because I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
There's also the case of Madeline Soto. I'd like to get your partakes on it. Since
Yeah.
it's recently just happened within a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So I thank you guys for watching us both. Make sure you can do the subscribe, comment, like, and share. And we'll see you
Yes.
guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good week.